Do rhythm have a soul?
I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know how constructs normally work in this.
Well, I guess that's one thing you're trying to determine or find out, isn't it?
Like, he would think he has a soul, but yeah, I guess that remains to be seen.
Of course I have a soul. All dwarfs have souls. Why would you say such a thing?
I was about to say, would he even wonder about that? I mean, he thinks he's a dwarf, so of course he's got a soul. He wants to have a soul.
But I mean, whether or not he actually does, I am not really sure.
We will find out. But yeah, you have consciousness. That's an attribute of a soul.
That would be an ecumenical matter. You feeling better today, Alan?
Still got a bit of a cough, and I'm just exhausted today. It's been a long day, so. But yeah, compared to last week, a lot better. Nope, no one's catching up. No one's told me what's happened since we left the city. That's the last time.
The dwarf up not doing it. That'd be a hell of a strong shark.
And then Duridan ran through half the town, just destroying everything on his way to escape.
Good.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. That's exactly what I was going to say. I can imagine he was just going to be riding in dirt and shoulder swinging his sword around. I think he's known Ricardo too well already. I've not seen Labyrinth in so long. I don't remember.
I was saying I kept thinking of him as Puss in Boots at that point.
Yeah, Puss in Boots is a very, very apt description of him.
Everything in Labyrinth just all looks so strange.
That was the point. Like I said, I'm still having some breathing, coughing issues, and I'm very tired as well. So I'm happier with a short session today.
Yeah, I'm assuming it won't be hard to find the stampeding Sheridan.
I think, once we put a bit of distance between us and the town, the notorious stopped.
I imagine, but I'm assuming you left plenty of tracks for me to follow.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's fucking heavy. There'll be, huge footprints. Or stone prints, or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, I mean, there'll still be, footprints, a trail.
We should make our way to the forest so we can camp and wait for the others.
How will they know where we've gone?
I just look at him and the trail of footprints leading to where we are.
The trail of destruction behind you.
They'll find us, don't worry.
Two of them just realising how much they broke. Okay.
What are you worried about? It's a great glorious day. You rescued fellow dwarf. Ah, you are a very big dwarf, I do say. Person.
Yes, because you have an actual dwarf with you now as well for size comparison.
I just think he's a giant dwarf. It's a very big difference between a giant dwarf and a regular dwarf.
I suppose men do come in all sizes too.
What is the dwarf doing during this whole conversation between the two?
Well, I mean, if he's stopped moving, he's hopped off the shark and he's trying to break his chains against a stone or a rock or a boulder.
Can I use a flashy trick to break his chains?
Of course you do. Give me a roll. As well, Ricardo, you get 2 XP because you actually did technically attend last session.
I saw it, but I'm choosing not to take it. Don't want to level up too fast. Hey, I got a 10.
Yes, you. I mean, do you want to describe what your flashy maneuver is to break your chains?
I'm going to slot 2 swords into the chain slots and pull them apart and the chain snap.
I don't know why it's amusing. It's so like overdone for such a simple thing.
That's Ricardo in a nutshell, though.
Yeah, so he nods and he's like, thank you, sir. I wasn't sure I was ever going to escape the clutches of that man.
Well, he's been executing a poor innocent dwarf such as yourself. Ah,
Where do you hail from, dwarf?
I'm from Carrick, the last of the dwarven strongholds in the Northern Mountains. I was sent by my king to find aid in the south as the fortress is under siege and the remaining army has taken hold up on the inner citadel.
well, aid you have found, my good friend.
He looks around at 3 of you. It's like, it's very gracious, but very brave of you, but I'm not sure 3 will be enough. And then,
But there are 5 of us.
and at that point, Draken just steps out of the shadow.
Right, our friend of the shadows, and I believe you've miscounted the shark.
We count the shark now as part of the group.
It just does a barrel roll being noticed.
Yeah, like the ones that's belly
Yes, you're a
rubbed.
very good shark. You're a very good shark, Timothy. I'm going to start with Tommy.
Wait, did the shark have a name? I can't remember.
Yeah, its name is Sherman. It's Sherman the Sky Shark.
I refuse to acknowledge his name and calling it Timothy.
Well, I suppose... I don't suppose there's an army nearby.
I don't think so. You might want to keep heading farther south if you're looking for that.
Perhaps I should keep on travelling.
Was Broggendberg your first port of call?
Yes, we had assumed that the Empire would be our allies, as agreed by the ancient traditions. But it seems that the Lord here has other plans for the region.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You seem to misunderstand, my dwarven friend. We have been called by a higher power to aid you in the defense of your great city.
Duradum just like turns to the rest of them and goes like, do you know of any other city that would be friendly to our kin?
And the dwarf gives you a side look.
Which Duradum
What about
doesn't notice at all.
What about the dwarven cities on the south continent? Can't you contact them somehow?
Take far too long.
Yes, that'd be too much of a distance to travel. What were you going to say, Drac, before?
I was going to tell him I wouldn't lump this one lord in with the whole empire. He should probably keep contacting other cities.
In nods. So it appears the Empire is also in trouble. We'd assumed that it was only our kingdoms that had been attacked.
Have a map of the area on any of us, by the way?
The dwarf, being a master craftsman by trade, takes a stick or a stone out of the ground and starts to draw in soft mud a kind of sketch of the area.
Why, that's a
What do you-
fabulous piece of work. You could be a great cartographer if you desired.
Well, I am a cartographer. That was one of the reasons why I was sent, because I know the lands and the paths.
Well, what would be the nearest city with a large enough force to help you? Or castle, fortress, whatever they have around here.
Well, if the Voster lands have not fallen, I could travel east to Legram. But that is going to be many days' travel, and there really is not much time to spare. Perhaps if your party, your company, believes that they can help in some way.
Can I? I'm gonna scoot over and look at the map. Can I see if I can remember where any sky islands are nearby that I might know of?
Not directly over this path, but you can see that your plan to hunt the Great Worm kinda takes you in the right direction of where he's indicating to go. He indicates like a second dwarf fortress in the mountains. It says this is Kinuldar. We had heard that there were some forces holding out here, but beyond the initial attack, deep underground. Perhaps your company could contact them while I reach for the Vosterlands and bring reinforcements that way.
About this place.
Castle
That's what-
Agamos?
No, Kinuldar.
Yeah, Castle Agamars. I was assuming I was just like pointing at out the map that he drawn in the dirt.
No, Agamas Castle is a very old and left out castle.
Also, it's just a ruins.
It's not ruins, but we did it in a past campaign and it was a vampire that was there, so there's no one there now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
But yes, he indicates Kinuldar, which would take you from, if you travel upriver to Hogstad, then you could go northeast across the unmapped territory, which is where the Great Worm is said to roam, because it's kind of trapped between all these mountains. And that, he says, there might be some dwarven forces that could be rallied.
Then why don't we go look for them while you head further south?
He nods, all the time staring at Duradam. Yes, I believe if you could manage that would be a great help to us dwarves.
There are the ones that staring at the floor trying to work out where he came from on the map.
We get paid for helping.
I don't want to tell you what your character knows, really, Duradam, but I kind of like the idea that you really don't know which one you came from, because you just started walking and you had no concept of like the world outside anyway.
I do like the idea, yeah. And he doesn't know the name of any of the like, surrounding locations.
Yeah, because you were always kept like deep in the mines and all that kind of stuff, so you never really saw like the outside world until more recently. So yes, the dwarf nods and he's like, "This sounds like a plan. If you were able to gather some reinforcements to help us break the siege, you would be heralded as heroes for the long memories of time."
Can I get in writing that I'll get paid? And I see the paper. Or ink and paper, whatever they have here.
Oh, I mean, I think dwarves are very keen to get things down on paper.
The rhythm just like lets out a big laugh and goes like, "I'm sure we'll have plenty on the ground you can take."
Dwarf,
As
Oh,
long as
if we're,
we
we're gonna help get reinforcements for Dwarven Kingdom, you know, I figure we can get a little bit out of it here.
oh, indeed, you'll be rewarded greatly for such a deed. He's like feeling around for like a pen or a pencil, something to scribe with. He pulls out a bit of charcoal and somebody's parchment that he has. He starts to write out a contract. Rise, meanwhile, You were in this underground portal room. You headed through the tunnel in the direction of the Church of Yaren.
That's right. Rise's plan is to execute the main priest, high priest of the church, and to have a talk with the young apprentice he has over there, because Rise believes he's still innocent.
Can you give me a quick roll?
In roll 20.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Yeah, you make your way hurriedly along the passageway, and you come into like a brick wall, a cobble wall. But there's a lever, and you hit it, and the door just kind of like moves slightly at enough of an angle to let you slide into what seems to be a dark storage room. It's full of barrels and crates. There's wooden stools, just various tools and stuff left lying around. Most of it's quite dusty. You can see that there's a wooden door on one side of the room, which seems to be locked. But you can hear voices beyond, and you're assuming that it must go like upstairs.
Is some of the voices I recognize.
Sure, yes, you can recognize the voice of the cleric, the high priest.
And I'm facing a locked wooden door.
Yes, it's not. I mean, it's quite a simple, primitive lock. It's not a particularly sturdy door. You can probably judge that you could easily kick it down with a bit of effort, but obviously that would alert people that you're there.
Okay, but all of the rumble going inside of the city with Mayor and the party snatching a dwarf, I think I have some time before anybody suspects anything, so I'm kicking the door and going to the room where I hear the voices from.
So give me another quick roll, because although you're kind of forcefully going through the door, you're trying to get up the stairs and grab them before they have time to do anything. Yes, you get to the top of the stairs, you look around, and you're in just off the side of the main chamber for the church where the pool is and stuff. You see the cleric and you see some of his acolytes there, and they notice you as you get to the stairs, and the cleric pats you on the shoulder and he says, "Run, my boy, tell the others," and he runs out the front door while the rest of them just kind of stand there and see what you're going to do.
Well, before he escapes the door, I'm going to use telekinesis to bring him back to the room and shut the door closed with telekinesis.
Okay, give me the roll for that with your mana.
Yeah, I use all of my mana.
Used all your mana. Yes, the boy's just about to exit and you slam both big doors closed in his face. And like yank him across the room. He like flies
And of course
splashes into the pool.
And of course, there is some key or wooden, lock. I'm gonna lock the door.
Yeah, you slam them shut, and the what's that called? The fucking the long iron bar that's used to like barricade the door from the inside like slams down in place as you shut them.
Yeah. So how many of them are there?
There's the cleric and there's 3 acolytes, but these acolytes are little more than boys. They are very, very young men.
Do I recognize the acolyte I've met before? The innocent-looking one.
Yeah, he's there as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna scan the room and look at them intimidating, but also taking a quick moment to observe if anybody of those acolytes are not part of this scheme they're pulling off.
And your appearance, you still look like an ordinary traveler, yeah?
That's right.
Except you have a sword, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a careful roll to try and determine which of them look like they could be innocent.
That'd be more of a clever because I'm quickly trying to determine if somebody is really innocent in this room.
I'd say that's quickly then, if you're doing it with speed.
Okay.
No, I mean, they all look kind of scared when they see the doors shut and everything. They're confused. The priest puts his hand on the shoulders of two of them because he's standing behind them. Says, "Do not fear, my followers. This demon shall not pass. This demon shall not get the better of us. For Yaren is with us today, and his saints in all their glory."
Well, I'm gonna pull out my sword, and so there is one more acolyte. Probably not charging at me, right?
Yeah, the three of them just kind of like pull out little daggers. Or let's say two of them pull out daggers because the other one doesn't have a dagger. He just run at you with his fists, and the three of them charge at you across the room, and they start yelling, "For Saint Volkor!"
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to roll in between them because I suppose they're not experienced, and I could use something of flesh like rolling between them and going for the main cleric.
Yeah, are you trying to roll over and just like hold the sword to his throat, or are you gonna like actually try and hit him?
Yeah, I'm trying to take him as a prisoner, as
Sure.
a hostage.
Okay, so have advantage because they just do not know what they're doing, and roll with flashy. Yeah, you roll between them, and they're just kind of like, they wave their daggers like they kind of want to hit you, but they're kind of scared to hurt someone for real because they've never done that before. And you roll up against the cleric, hold your blade against his throat, and just then you hear banging on the front door of the church, and you recognise instantly the Lord Mayor's voice. It's like, "Moonhan, why the hell are these doors closed?" And then if we cut to everyone else outside the city.
Easy, boys. Easy.
So back outside, Salazar, Duradam, Ricardo, and Draken, you're with this dwarf who identified himself as Tharmuth Marhood. So Tharmuth is quite keen to get on his way and begin his travels again east. Now that he's got your assurances and you've all signed the contract that you're going to go north to Kindledar and try to raise some forces to help. That sound good?
Should we look for a place to rest first?
Goddess has already blessed our great journey. Come, we shall hit a forth.
Should we head north to Hogstad then?
Yeah, we should make camp somewhere along the North River. That's where those boys that he needs.
And what about your missing compatriot at this point?
Those boy.
Because
Said
obviously,
he'd meet us by the river, so as long as we just make camp along the river, he should be able to find us.
All right, let's head north to the to that small lake.
Oh, we met the stranger, have we?
yes, so they encountered Rise. He introduced himself at one point.
All right. This quest is fated upon us. We shall clearly find us in good stead.
So what kind of approach do you want to take for, getting further away from the city and along the river?
Me or Salazar should scout ahead, and then I think we should just make our way as fast as we can. While trying to hide our tracks. But
Okay,
if I don't
Drag.
scout ahead,
So
I can try to hide the tracks.
Alright, Drag, do you want to roll with quick?
Yeah.
Would he have advantage since I'm helping him?
Sure.
Yeah, 3 dice. 5, 6, 7. My quick is a nothing, so it's 7.
Sure, so you two are able to scout the path ahead and find a way along the river on the west shore. And that will take you through cover and should keep you relatively hidden. But you can see that horsemen have left the city and they're like spread out in different directions. Obviously like searching the area and looking for you. You also see like a band of soldiers or guardsmen leaving the city. You notice some patrols further out along the river as well by guardsmen. These obviously don't have anything to do with you as of yet. And occasionally along the river there will be like merchant boats, fishermen boats going up and down the river as well. But for the time being you're able to remain hidden and they're not coming after you directly.
I like the idea that to hide the attacks, Salazar told Duradum to like carry a tree behind them as if it's scraping the ground, masking the huge footprints or something.
Yes, leaving a giant trail
Yes.
of fallen trees.
Like, clearly isn't a goal on this.
Literally a line to follow, just as ditch.
I feel like Salazar's never had to worry about covering his own tracks since he flies most places.
Ooh.
He's just good at tracking other people.
Ricardo just doesn't cover his tracks because he leaves it all down to fate.
Well, a very stealthy group.
I'm gonna travel like 100 yards to like the east of you guys. When they find you, I'll have a head start.
Look, he's got to leave a trail for beautiful women to find him.
Let's see. Okay, so since you got 17, I'm going to make him pick a choice here from these.
When you say it like that, it sounds like you're just pulling out handkerchiefs and leaving them on branches.
Right, I'm just going to paste in Discord your choices here. So yes, Drake, if you want to pick one of those while you're scouting.
In Discord, you said?
In Discord, yeah. So you happen upon a discovery. That's the rest will happen upon a discovery. They're going this slow and you wander off course. Or you don't encounter danger.
So you don't encounter danger?
Yeah. All the other options means you're encountering danger.
I'm not keen on encountering danger so soon.
Okay, yeah, so I mean it's slow going, you're having to keep to the bushes and hide every time a patrol passes or a boat goes by. So you don't get very far up the river. Okay, so Rise, while that's all happening, we're back to you. There's like the Lord Mayor and what sounds like several men banging on the door from the outside, and you can see them like pushing against it, trying to open it. And the cleric is looking down at you, or down at your blade, and it's like you'll never get out of here.
Respond to him. I look at the boys. I push the cleric down to his knees, and I face them with the blade on his throat. you know there is something wrong here. In the storage room, there's a hidden passage. It will take you underground.
They
There is
they look at each other a little bit and they're like, what of it?
there is a proof that this Church of Yaren is defiled here, as well as the corruption with the officials. If you know Yaren in heart, you will run away from the city and warn others. Send the Inquisition here to restore the order and the word of Yaren.
The cleric himself is like, you hold your blasphemous tongue. There's no defilement here, apart from you and your antics here with this violence.
I just look at one of the acolytes and you can feel it in your heart that the presence of Yaren is missing here. If you know it, you will leave and warn the Inquisition to restore the order. And in that moment, I'm gonna just slit his throat and I'm gonna cast Astral Projection to escape the building and run away.
Bravely run away. Okay, roll your cast in. They're gonna like, you know, gasp in horror as you slit his throat. One of them like falls to his knees and he's like, "No, father." Is this where you want to use your lucky today?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, just as the door busts in, or one of the side doors perhaps, the Lord Mayor trudges in and he's like, "Moonhan, what the hell is the meaning of this?" And the guards pour in with him. The acolytes are on their knees, one of them's just like panicked and doesn't really know what to do. The dead priest's body just kind of slumps to the ground in front of you, holding his throat, blood gurgling everywhere, spilling into the sacred pool. And then you just like, I don't know, you lift like your sword up to your face in a salute and then just like shift form and change.
Yes. And go through the walls.
You just phase shift out of there.
Yeah, disappear. Because I think that this works like when I cast it, until I interact with the physical world, I remain unseen by the regular eyes.
Oh yeah, because you're passing through planes when you do it. You're probably like phase shifting to like limbo. That'd probably be the most sensible one. Except you're phase shifted, so you're translucent and you can pass through solid objects, so it's not quite going to limbo, I suppose. But yes, you do that. And they're all, you know, you can hear the gasps of horror and confusion from them as you phase shift and disappear. I guess in that form you'd be able to easily exit the city, find the river and make your way along the river. And of course you can see Ricardo's massive dome and beam of light from...
Yeah, like a lighthouse.
Yes, he's very obvious where he is.
Plus, I didn't really make an appearance into the city, so nobody knows how I look like. They will not know who they're looking for.
See, I told you the fates would let him find us.
Yeah, and I mentioned to the Draken that he's about to take the party upstream the river, and that's the path I follow.
Yeah, so you catch up with them, and when you catch up with them, obviously the dwarf is no longer there with them. He's left to make his way west, sorry. But you can make camp if somebody wants to roll for that one.
Hello, welcome back, our new friend.
I guess I'll vote for making camp.
My face is just worried, and I sit in silence.
What ails you? You don't look rather chipper at the moment.
Rise ignores. He just sits there, blank face, gazing at the distance.
Imagine as well while you sat there, just like thinking, replaying the moment in your head. And you're like, they mentioned Volker's name. They said Saint Volker. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yes, and the mystery continues. Can you remind me? I think Volker is under the God section in Roll20, but I forgot.
No, Volker is the other warden, the corrupted one.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, I suppose it's even bigger than I thought of, and there's a huge cloud of confusion in my head going through.
So we've got a camp rope, which is 10. Yes, so you're going to be able to make camp without incident. No one's going to find you. Miraculously. I guess between your aerial advantage and the shadow walk, you're able to just like keep lie low in a position where they're not going to spot you when they do come by. Okay, so yes, if you've got XP to level up, you can level up at this point.
Would it make sense if I got shapeshifter?
Yeah, I mean, if you just haven't had to use it yet, you could have it.
I'm wondering if I should just take +1 for an approach.
And then
I mean, the +1's always good.
I might just be even more forceful. +2.
Ram everything from now on.
could I turn that wound that won't heal from the shadow snake into a negative?
Oh yeah, I'd highly encourage that. Yeah, so the shadow beast, it like dove right through you, didn't it? And gave you a wound that wouldn't heal. I think we had something similar before when you were fighting Ibitsu.
No, I think it was either then or it was when we were going through the astral plane and stuff.
Yeah, we've definitely had it before. People were like affected by like shadow things with the damage they wouldn't heal.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was tainted, right?
Yeah, that kind of works. Yeah, so there's something ethereal, sort of planar, not physical, kind of wound that's affecting you on the inside. Like your heart is darkened. But how that like actually manifests with you, I don't know. But maybe certain others can sense it. But maybe Rise can kind of sense it about you, but in the midst of everything just now you wouldn't have noticed. Especially with Mr. Golden Beam of Light sitting next to you.
But that's what happens when you're blessed / cursed by a goddess.
I'm saying Rise probably notices a slight difference in Salazar. A kind of darkness about him. But it probably doesn't notice like right now with everything that's going on. Yeah, so you're able to make camp. You only get a sleep for a short few hours before it's... Well, I guess before dawn, even while it's still dark. Because you just want to head out before the fishermen start going onto the river. And you just don't have a boat yourselves, obviously. It's a long trek up to the village that you were indicated before, Rags, and a much longer trek than that all the way to Hogstad. So if is there anything you want to do to make the journey easier, or should we just like make a journey roll?
Should we see if there's any boats nearby that we can borrow?
Quote unquote borrow.
Or we can just
Well-
pay for safe passage.
Do I notice any like traces of large monsters in this lake or the river?
And you give me a clever roll.
Would I have advantage for tracking, since I'm looking for tracks and traces?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I mean, there's stories of large creatures in these rivers and lakes, but you know, being an experienced hunter, that it's mostly just very large fish, large turtles, stuff like that. There's no like monsters that are supposed to reside here, and you don't see any signs that would indicate that there is a monster in the river.
Oh, I guess we'll have to find a boat then.
Okay, so obviously there's lots of sort of smaller settlements just outside the city, along the river, mostly like fishermen. There's some like merchant wharfs, sort of trading outposts where things are getting shipped up and down river. It's mostly like precious ores and metals, hides that are coming in from the north. And being sent out that way are other things like building materials, manufactured goods. So it's a fairly steady traffic. I mean, it's not huge because it's going out to towns and villages. It's not really going out to another main hub. But particularly early in the morning, there'll be a lot of fishermen and little fishing boats setting out. And these are mostly just like villagers, families of 3-4 guys going out. Guys from Brooklyn going out and fishing. So we just want to do.
I'm gonna look at Duradan and look over at the boats, see if I can see any big enough to carry him without capsizing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for that you would want one of the merchant vessels because they're like broad, shallow built vessels for transporting those large supplies. And most of these will have a crew, the captain, and probably a couple of like guardsmen, or the crew themselves will be trained how to protect themselves in case they were robbed.
Good morning, good sirs. How much would you accept pay for safe travel?
So I think you're just approaching one that's still like loading up here.
Yep.
So they're actually like offloading just now. And the deckhands look up at you. Well, if you're wanting to join us going upriver, I'm sure we can arrange that for a few coin.
Splendid. You have room for my comrades. You're pointing to the guy riding the flying shark and the big giant golem.
Yeah, I think the natural reaction is to drop what they're doing and kind of like stumble backwards in fear.
Them just like, oh, don't worry, the shark can fly above us.
They're like, it talks! Good God, what is it?
Never seen a giant dwarf before.
And they all give each other a
Jeez.
confused look.
Come, my good friend. We shall have merriment upon the dock of the bow of the ship.
And Duradum's just like, Ricardo, we don't spend a lot of our time by the water.
Did we talk about how much it would cost first? As Ricardo just walks away.
He's just walking onto the ship. He's not negotiated how much yet. They said they'd do it for a fee. I agreed.
I'll just
Rise.
face palm and follow him on the ship.
Yeah, right. Rise just chimes in and mentions that we are stopping at Hogshead.
So once the ground's kind of grasped that there's a flying shark and this walking, talking stone thing, and it's not going to immediately harm them. 20 gold ahead. Yes, 20 coins ahead. That should cover the fee. And you can help us load up the goods before we head off.
That 20 gold ahead before labour?
Yes, of course. It's a long trip. Well, how far up the river do you wish to travel?
What I'm implying is like we get a discount if we help them load stuff.
Yeah, he's saying no, because you can help load that as well.
We're making our way towards Hogstad.
Oh yes, then 20 coins ahead would be the cost.
Alright, someone pay the men, and I'll just walk past them.
Can you all afford that?
I've got 20 gold to pay.
Yeah, I can barely, but yeah.
Can anyone not afford it is the question.
Yes.
I can give you a
Rise don't
few
have
gold
any money.
coins.
I have just enough gold if I need to pay for it. Is it 20 from everyone, or just 20 altogether?
20 each person, yes.
Oh, yeah, I can pay that.
Rise is emptying his pockets, but not one coin to be found.
I was gonna sneak on board while they were distracted by the giant.
You want to roll sneaky for me then?
Yeah. Can I get advantage?
You could do the tick where, like, you take their purse and give it back to them. You know?
God,
Sneaky skills 2, so that's a 10.
I was taking money for people entering a nightclub before when I was running a gig, and somebody did that to me. They pulled money out of the tray and gave me it back again, and I was like, wait a minute. There's a few pause after they'd walked in, and I was like, hang on a second.
Got a 10.
It's 10. Okay, yes, yeah, you get on there, no problem. They don't notice you at all. They're too busy, holding up Rise and being like, okay, lad, we can't let you travel for free.
I'll help with the goods.
Well, damn right you're going to help with the goods if we're going to take you all the way to Hogstad. We weren't even planning on traveling there, were we, boys? And they all kind of like laugh at each other. What were you going to say, Drac?
Just say I was gonna find somewhere kind of high up and hide in the shadows.
So you mean like up in the rigging or something like that?
Well, there's anywhere like someone's just out of sight.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
a
there's plenty of
sticker
places that are out of sight and amongst all the crates and stuff that are getting stocked. But if you want to be high up, it would only be on like the mast and the rigging.
Alright, yeah, someone's up there. I want to be easily spotted, and no one's gonna like just walk by and see me. It's the plan, at least.
Yeah, so Rise, they're like, well, you know, you're saying you'll help, but that's not 20 gold's worth of labour.
Wait, I have something in my backpack, and Rise starts to rummaging through adventure gear, taking out ropes. Hey, ropes! You need ropes, right?
Duradum will come back over. I assume he's not clambered onto the boat yet. And I'll pass, I'm blanking her name, guys, the enchanted sword that we got from the paladins. And he's just like, Ghost Man, how much is this worth?
No. We are not giving that.
And the guy who he has quite an ugly face. You know, he's got a big bulbous nose. He's got a lot of freckles. He's got a slanted brow, and he's quite portly looking. I wouldn't say fat, maybe he's quite round. He's like, oh, hang on a second. The rock has a good idea here. I'll take that blade in exchange for passage.
I just imagine
man.
myself in that situation. Like, ooh, something's happening.
If you take this sword, misfortune will fall upon you.
Well, if I'm having to take you for free, I'd say that's misfortune anyway.
Duradum is just pondering it like, should I be carrying this sword?
Where were you even carrying it? Was it just stuck in you this entire time?
He did have an axe, which is gone, but I think he probably was just kind of like putting it in the, not like sheath, but the holder for that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the venture gear and stuff, don't you? So you're going to have some sort of satchel
Yeah.
or bag or something. Yeah. So the man stands up proud, you know, next to you because you're huge. Sticks out his hand and he's like, "Come on, Rock, hand it over."
He's just like looking between the man and Rives.
No, gentlemen. Such a fine weapon should be worth more than enough for all of our travels expenses.
The man makes an audible as he rubs his chin.
Just a reminder, I have a shark.
Betsy's soul, like yours, will be tainted.
You
not
can't give
take the
your
sword.
shark away, Salazar.
But I don't have a melee weapon. Can't I have the sword?
We can't trade your shark. Duradum just doesn't understand what you're getting at.
I'm not quite sure myself, don't worry.
So the man, after some contemplation, he's like, "I'll let the Rock and the stranger travel for the cost of this blade, because it is cursed, as you say."
It will taint your soul.
That is but a mere superstition. He is a very paranoid one, our ghostly comrade.
So again, the man sinks out his hand and just kind of closes his fist a couple of times to indicate pass over.
Yeah. Duradum just like flips it around and gives him the handle.
Don't give him it yet.
Thank you, dear
All of our
Rock.
travel.
No, not all your travel. And he puts his blade into his belt. But these two can travel for free. That's the bargain. It's okay then, Rock. Try and stay in the centre of the boat. We don't want you tipping at either side.
Duradum just goes like, it's stone. It's stone.
Let us pass. Let us pass Dirt and some ropes to wrap around himself, so he can get craned onto the boat.
I mean, he can probably step up. Just might tilt it a bit.
Rise will come up to Ricardo and whisper into his ear, if it's the superstition, we will see. I bet that until the end of the voyage, we will have an enemy on board. And it will be not nice enemy.
See, you don't seem to understand the principle of haggling, do you?
If
I
I'm
was trying to
haggling
increase.
a tainted paladin sword, it's not worth it.
We see, if we are so concerned about the sword, we can always steal it back.
That sounds better.
So,
You need to learn the ways of the world, my friend. Things are not so black and white as you seem to see. There is much grey, and much passion in the grey.
Ricardo, you notice that one of the guys who's this very handsome blonde man, bare chested, very muscular, who's doing a lot of the lifting and stuff. He's giving you the eye quite a lot as he's like loading up the ship.
It seems I might have a date tonight.
You learn that the ugly man, his name is Hogel. He is the captain of the vessel and the merchant. The handsome blonde man is Smithy, and the other guy that stays on board after you set sail is Peter. Peter is a slightly older, more experienced salesman. He knows these waters like the back of his hand, and he's also a veteran of several campaigns against some of the wild folk of the north. You just make a journey of a couple of days, couple of nights. You know, you can't go at a great speed up this river, but the progress is steady, things are calm, it's a very beautiful, serene sort of landscape. Deciduous forests, you can see like the marshlands extending off from the side of the river at certain points, and estuaries going out in different directions. Yeah, so if when you want to do like a campfire talk, this is like a good opportunity to do so, where you have time to kind of think about what you're doing, where you're going.
When it's the right opportunity, when we have some privacy, I would gather our party together. I need to talk about Hogstead.
What have you heard?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Hogstead probably is not gonna be nice. So keep your game when we enter Hogstead. I recommend that we split the crew. So not all of us make the appearance straight away. I'm on a mission to Hogstead to discover if I don't know how I put it, but we might encounter enemies there, corrupt enemies, agents of Folkor. He's a dark sorcerer.
Could I use my background to say something I've heard about Hogstead?
Yes, sure.
Well, during my travels, I had heard that Hogstead was being assaulted by a tribe of these so-called wild folk. They would attack in the middle of the night and abduct people.
Uh-huh.
That's it. I just heard they were being attacked by wild folk, but that might just be rumors.
Wildfolk. That's even more troublesome.
Oh, it can't be what's in Broggendberg.
It may or it may not be. So far we didn't encounter dark sorcerers. Their power might be great. I'm heading there to uncover information about Folkor. If Folkor is connected with Malekith, that's spelling a doom on all of the world. As you all might have noticed so far, we are all on a mission greater than all of us. And Hogsad is our first checkpoint of this great adventure. So I'm open for plans, but we don't know what we are be encountering over there.
So have the rest of you told Rise about what the dwarf said?
Our dwarven friend who we rescued is going to said that Carrick Lack is the last dwarven citadel, but it's being sieged by it. And did you say what it was being attacked by?
Yeah, here they mentioned it's the forces of Malekith, the demon army.
It was being sieged by a demon army led by one of Malekith's generals. Whether there might be survivors and another nearby.
Yeah, Kenildar.
Yeah, and there might be other survivors in Kenildar that we can search for and help us take back Carrick Lock.
Well, that explains. Well, the mayor, he's corrupted. I saw a map. I lay out the map in front of everybody. So if mayor knows about that, if Karaklak falls, the north of Human Kingdom will be open to assault. And if he's willing to give Karaklak without fight, without reinforcement, that means he's in alliance with Malekith. Well, I fear that this corruption goes deep. If Karaklak falls, the Human Kingdom is next from the north. We cannot allow that.
As you lay out the map, Rise, you also notice a sigil scored into the corner. And you recognise this sigil as being the one that's burned out in the Warden's council chamber.
I lean over at the map, and as I see the sigil, I curse. It's Folkor. I am not sure if Folkor plays the game on the side of Malekith or from himself. We are about to find that out. But if he is on the Malekith side, then Malekith is much stronger than we think. Even though the course of the war is changing at the moment. We might be mistaken if Folkor is on his side.
So, who is this Folkor?
I'm one of the few remaining realm wardens, realm walkers. Or, well, we have many names. We've got many names throughout the centuries. But our main purpose is establishing the order across the realms, as well as the physical world. Well, I'm one of the few taken into liking this physical world. I'm very much so connected with it. And we don't serve a deity, we don't serve any gods. We serve everybody, no matter of rank or race. And I fear that we are about to fall once and for all because of the Falcor. He betrayed us all. He was one of us. And we still don't know his connection with Malekith, whether he is one of his, let's say, generals or allies. It's a great mystery for us as well, but we are about to discover that. That's one of our missions, aside from trying to rescue the dwarves.
I've been sending a quest to this Falcor. My goddess blessed me with a single quest of saving the dwarven citadels. She promised me comrades, and to which I have clearly received.
I look at everybody present and, well,
Your grudge against this Falcor seems personal.
and I look into everybody's eyes. I see everybody has a mission for themselves as well, that are connected into this grand adventure we are about to do. Well, I don't want to take this too far, but my advice is we take step by step, because nothing is simple as it seems. If Falcor is really having his hands here, then he definitely has his hands in Karaklak. That is what I'm afraid of.
I'm assuming, Drac, that you are somewhere close by in the shadows that you can hear the conversation without risking being discovered by someone just walking by.
Yeah, since I have heightened hearing, I was like, yeah, I'm not actually down there with them because I'm on here illegally, so I'm just listening in from a hidden spot.
Yeah, so
Well, we would have to be having this in the middle of the top of the ship, since Durdan can't really go inside.
yeah,
I mean,
but
there might be an instance I can sit beside or something.
well, if you're having it like late night when most of them are resting, or maybe only one of them's awake because he's steering the ship, and there's so much cargo piled up as well. Like I said, building materials, stacks of pottery, all this kind of stuff. There's lots of kind of crates and stuff to kind of like shelter yourselves within. I was going to say though, if Drakan's up, lying on top of the rigging across the masts, the stars in the sky above. There's like the crow's nest, and just for a moment, with your excellent hearing and sight, you see the shadow of a very tall, thin figure with flowing long hair. It's like standing at the end of the rigging across from you, at the end of the mast. But then when you blink, it's gone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It wasn't a shadow step, but a shadow walk, because there's no shadow there, although it's night. But the figure themselves seem to be cloaked in shadow.
Guess I'll be more alert and looking down at the group to see if I see like anything else. Not like when you're looking for something that's flickering in and out, you don't actually stare at it. You just focus on one spot and hope your peripheral vision catches it.
Yeah. Trying to catch the movement in your eyes. Nothing else. There's like the flicker of, from the light sources that they're using. But there's definitely doesn't seem to be anyone like listening in or moving around down there.
I'll keep it to myself for now. I think it becomes important later.
Yeah, you tell them when you feel like they need to know.
Yeah, kind of like the dwarf situation.
Yeah, I mean, you just made these guys. You don't really fucking trust them too much.
We'll be on more alert the rest of the boat trip.
So as you just travel upriver, the forest becomes visibly more sort of corrupted. The trees are more kind of like twisted and gnarled. Their leaves have changed hue to a kind of more bluish or purplish tone. The grass is thinner, or it looks like the earth has been scorched. The fishing in the river is getting worse as you head upriver. And you can hear the rushing of rapids as the Hoggle, the merchant captain, indicates that you're nearing the lake and the village of Bonn, which is this kind of sort of halfway point stop on your way to Hogstad. Yes, as you approach the village of Bonn, it reminds you greatly of the town of Malvern. It's much smaller, buildings are more sparse, but once more, it looks deserted. You would expect fishermen, children playing perhaps, people doing their washing in the river or the lake. There's none of that present. The sky is overcast and dark. There is a single mast of a ship. Looks like it's been broken off a fairly large vessel, and it's been driven into the ground of the shoreline, and it's angled outwards over the water, and across the mast a tall, thin-looking man has been tied up, crucified to it, just hanging over the lake as you approach the docks. He's been
that's not ominous at all.
Yeah, he's been stripped naked. It looks like he's been lashed or cut all over his body. His skin is very pale, but it has a slight kind of aura to it, even with a normal naked eye.
I'm gonna go into hiding because I have a feeling people and this is part of going to save this guy, and I want to be part of that.
I love the bravery.
I won't say I watch the back when I go do something stupid.
Should we cut him down and bury him?
So Hoggle, the captain's like, "Don't be foolish, man. Leave him be. We don't want any part of this. Let's just refill our supplies and move on."
Do you know what caused it?
One at a time, please.
Do you know what caused this? What did this to the village?
Yeah, it's like turning the wheel, trying to slowly pull the vessel up. He's like, "No, I can't say I do, lad. But it's trouble, that's what it is." And he kind of clutches that cursed sword in his belt instinctively.
Any rumors you hear from north of the river?
We passed by here not even 4 days ago, and it was perfectly fine. This has happened very recently.
Wild folk?
And,
Do you recognize that man?
the tall, handsome, blonde man kind of whispers. He's like, "Wild folk wouldn't do this." You just can approach the man that's been crucified if you want to have a look at him.
Yeah, well, while they're doing that, I'll just jump up onto the mast and approach the top of it where he's tied up.
Yeah, I mean, you can use the shark to get up there. Yeah, you get up there and you can see that he's not a man at all. He's an elf. He's had, maybe he had long hair before, but his hair's been almost all shorn off. It's kind of like ragged, just the bits that are left on his kind of bruised and bloody scalp. His head's hung down. Either he's dead or near dead.
Ricardo cut him down.
Okay, he's come down and his body sloshes into the water below.
Yeah. try and drag the body out the water.
As you drag him out, he coughs and splutters a little bit with the water.
Yes, you are alive.
He blinks his eyes,
Great fortune.
and he's like, "Oh, your light is blinding."
I hear my smile. Is that to many people?
As you look down at him, Rise, you recognise that this is the realm warden, Leoric, that you spoke to recently.
When I notice that, I rush over and take his hand. Leoric, what happened? What are you doing here?
Rise, is that you?
Well, you know that I went here. What are you doing here?
I was foolish, Rise. I thought I could convince him. I thought I could bring him back to the fold. He coughs a little bit.
Stupid elf. What were you thinking? Has he brought any information out of you?
I told him nothing that he did not already know. And he coughs again. We'd been friends
What he
once,
knows.
and I thought I could talk him down. I thought there was still a part of him that remained good. But he has sworn fealty to the Dark One.
Is he close to Malekith?
Perhaps not the Dark Lord himself, but certainly his demonic general.
Hmm.
He seeks to raise an army of possessed ones and lead them to reinforce the siege. And then he kind of makes that like he's struggling for his last breath.
Do I have time for one more question?
Sure.
Where is Falkor?
He kind of like weakly points to where the river continues past the lake up north. It's north. And he like weakly clutches at your clothing. And he tries to say something, but the words don't come out. Just a little dribble of blood comes out the corner of his mouth, and then he dies in your arms.
I close my eyes, and if he has that soulbound amulet connected with him, I put him in his hands, and I start praying, and well, as his soul is leaving the body.
Yeah, imagine with your vision, you can see his form, ascending and making its way towards the Fae. And as you're doing so, you notice there's another figure standing off to the side of you all. It's there, but it's not there. It's almost like it's phase shifting, but not quite. And it has the same sort of Fae aura about it. And it's just there for a kind of blink of an eye before it's gone again.
And Leoric, I remember he had a twin elvish woman by his side.
Yes, there was another Fae realm warden.
Hmm. Well, anyways, I'm gonna spend some time in silence next to him before throwing his body into the river.
Do damn what you're doing while they are doing this.
I'm not entirely sure, because Duridan's not that deserving. I imagine he wouldn't have seen the like ghost figure that appeared for this moment.
No, you wouldn't have noticed that. You're oblivious. You and Ricardo are never going to see these shadow figures in the corners and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Does your natural curiosity about the village take you off the boat, or are you going to remain on the boat?
Like, no one else has gone off the boat, right? Like,
Well,
not even the.
they're all kind of off the boat because they cut down the guy and dragged him to shore and stuff.
Why a big guy be with you?
I think I'd probably just stick either on the boat or with the party, but
Okay, and you are oblivious, so I'm not going to get you to roll here. Draken, can you roll your careful for me? God, no wonder you got so much XP, man. Your rolls are terrible.
No, I get +1, just a 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you catch something that looks like a large turtle or a fish of some sort, sort of coming near the boat from the shoreline. You're able to react before it does anything, but you see these 4 large spider-like limbs extend out from the fleshy mass in the water as it kind of like reaches out to climb aboard the ship. Durudam has his back to it and just doesn't see it at all.
I'll warn Durden about it while keep tentacle things from grabbing onto the boat.
So
Like throwing daggers.
are you preventing it getting on the boat, or are you just staying away from it?
Trying to prevent it while letting Durden know that it's there.
Okay, so what are you doing to prevent it?
Just gonna try to keep the tentacles at bay by throwing daggers at it. Whoever tries to grab a hold of the boat, I'm just gonna throw a
Okay.
dagger at it.
Do you want to roll forceful for me?
That's gonna be terrible. Oh yeah.
Durudam, do you want to roll your defense for me?
and if it's a spider thing, would that be bladed if it's like fangs or something?
It's... I wouldn't say it's bladed, no. It's more just kind of like sharp claws.
I'll just do 2d6 then.
Oh my god, you guys.
I wonder why I had so much XP. I failed like 7 rolls like in a row last time.
Okay, Durudam, so you're going to take a wound, a pain, and a stress as this thing spears you with one of these long extended spider limbs. It pulls itself out of the water, and you can see it has like human arms and legs attached to the fleshy mass from which these extra limbs extend. It doesn't have a head like a person, but the rest of the body is kind of humanoid. But the features of the face, the nose and mouth, the ears, the eyes are kind of placed in weird positions over the body.
Right. So I'm just looking at what wounds to take. Yeah, I'll take bleeding heavily, lose my grip on what I'm holding, so I'll just drop my shield, and I guess I'll just have to freeze up for 1 or 2 as well. Not a very good situation.
Okay, so he freezes up, doesn't really react as such. Draken, you're like throwing your blades down and they're just going thump, thump. The thing's almost like absorbing them, or just doesn't seem to feel pain. And then we hear a scream as Handsome Smithy realizes what's happening, and a second one of the creatures reaches up from the water and just spears right through his torso.
Do I see all this happening from on top of the mast on the shore?
When you hear the scream, you turn around and you can see what's happening, yeah.
What do I see in all this? Or have I just been so oblivious I've not noticed a thing?
Oh, you're oblivious until the scream, and then you look over, but all you can see is like crates and stuff on the ship.
If I can see the guy getting impaled, I'll try and cut off the arm that's impaled him.
Sure, I mean,
If
you
I
can
can't
run over to the ship to try and see what's going on, because your viewpoint, you're on ground level. It's not easy for you to see, what's happening on the other side of the ship.
Yep. So I'll run over to that side and then see that he's been impaled, and I'll jump up and try and cut off the arm.
Yeah,
that's
you
impaling.
you get around the side of the ship and you can see Smithy's there and he's like holding his chest. This thing's protruding right through and he's gurgling blood everywhere. And this thing rises from the water and is like lifting him up as it does so. And then you're charging it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, give me a forceful roll.
That's an 8.
Yeah, so we're describing what your attack looks like.
So I imagine I'm just jumping up and raising the sword high above my head and slicing through it.
Yes, you drive your rapier into the centre mass of it, gouging a big wound into it. This kind of slightly glowing bluish blood substance oozes out from the wound, and the thing makes a horrific shrieking noise. It sets your teeth on edge, and it throws the man's body out towards you, and the two of you kind of like tumble together into the crates. And the thing like clambers itself fully out of the water onto the ship, and then up on top of various crates and such, so that it has a better view of everyone. Because it's dripping this blue goo everywhere. Salazar, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna jump towards the ship and try to just shoot an arrow at it.
Quickly then, I think.
Yeah, because I'm trying to shoot it before I land on the ship.
And I'm assuming this is the wounded one you're shooting at.
Right, the one that just fully climbed onto the ship.
Yeah. Yes, your arrow flies straight through. Goes. Are you in for like center mass? You're going for the head.
Whatever appears to be the head.
Oh, I already said don't have heads. Yeah, you aim for where you guess the head should be sticking out, where the neck would connect, and it's just kind of a torso. There is like an eye there, and your arrow pierces the eye, and the thing kind of like wriggles and shrieks and falls backwards off the crates and crashes into the deck of the ship beside Duradam. Now you notice Duradam. What is really going on?
So was that one like crawling up onto me?
This is the one that was attacking Smithy. The one that's attacking you is like crawled up on the ship behind you, yeah.
Right, but it's not on me.
It's not on you, no.
Right. I'm wondering where the point to attack, where your unarmed would be on this. I think being that its legs seem the more difficult part, the more dangerous part, I'll try to immobilize it. So I might actually try and like grapple its legs.
Okay, that sounds like you're being clever.
Oh no. But yeah, I'll try and pin it in place.
Yeah, that sounds like you're being clever because you're applying some tactics here.
Oh no. Fuck. I would have failed anyway.
Yes, you go to grab the thing and it just like lifts itself up higher than you on two of the big arachnid legs. And then it shrieks and like falls on top of you, and then drives all four of its arms into your body. You want to roll defense.
Oh, wait, that's a 7 now because I'm unarmed.
Okay, so that's going to be a wound and then a pain or a stress.
Right, well, I'll take wound won't heal, and I'll try it in pain.
Just to hold you up for a second, but wouldn't you got an advantage on your roll, the first one, because of pain gain thing?
Oh shit, I would have. But I mean, I guess I forgot about that, so we can just skip over it.
You roll another dice for your defense if you want to make up for that. See if you can lessen the severity a bit.
Sure. Not really.
7
No.
becomes a 9, so no, it's the same.
But yeah, I forgot about that.
And then a 9?
Yeah, 7 9 same result anyway, so it does make a difference. Yeah, so this one lands top you, drives all of its 4 limbs into you. The other one is wounded and it's kind of like fallen over, shrieking on the deck. Rise, would you like to do anything?
So we have one lying down, and one is piercing his
Yeah, one's on
arms.
Yeah, one's on Duradam.
Hmm. So I'm gonna charge, and while I'm charging and running into the defense of Duradam, I'm gonna force push a big crate on both with telekinesis onto the spider thing.
Okay. Just roll for the spell. I think I've got the options for the spell in Discord there, you can see them.
I'll take a stress because Leoric just passed away, and this whole area is corrupted, and everything is very stressful for me, so I'm taking stress.
Yeah, you reach out, slam a crate into this thing, knocking it off of Duradam. It lets out that horrific shriek, so loud this time that the birds in the trees all fly up into the air. And the crate slams the thing into the side of the deck, next to where the captain stands. And he kind of like, and pulls out the cursed blade. Ricardo, what would you like to do now?
So, what happened after it was pierced with the arrow?
It fell backwards on the deck. They're both kind of like lying prone on the deck for the moment.
Okay, so I'm going to then just, since I've got Smithy in my arms, I'm going to pull out the bladed arm, and then I'm going to keep my healing potion into Smithy, to his wound, try and heal it.
Yeah, he's like gargling and he's like holding you pleadingly. You know, there's the flicker of that flame that was in his eyes and the night of passion between the two of you. As you pour like the potion over him, and his wound miraculously kind of bubbles and starts to heal and knit itself. And then after a few seconds, he's going to let out a gasp of air as he like fills his lungs up again and coughs and spits all the blood out that started to seep into them. And he just whispers in your ear, "Thank you."
I'll just give him the most dashing smile to his face. It's like, don't worry. And then lay him down. I shall be back shortly.
Drac, what would you like to do? Drac.
I was muted. I'm going to shadow step next to the one that eyes knocked over and try to stab it in the eye.
Okay, so you're going to drop down next to it and then try to stab it.
Shadow step next to it and stab it so I can be
Shadow step into it.
But yeah, if I drop, I'm just going to land somewhere I might not want to.
Okay, that sounds forceful.
Would that be quick? That's down.
I suppose if you're trying to do it before it gets up, yeah, sure.
And that other roll's the same.
Did you have a modifier for that?
Oh, no, I had no modifier.
You
This
don't.
is why I level. re-roll that with my background off fashion?
Sure.
What's more? What's more bigger? 7. I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, you plunge into the center mass. I mean, it's already cut open. It's got an arrow in its eye. You plunge an arrow, yeah, so your blade into the other eye, assuming that's must be linked to the brain. You plunge it into it, and the thing doesn't scream from its mouth this time, but it reaches up and it grabs your wrist with its human-looking hand. You can see the skin is like pallid and it's slightly kind of like a dead flesh kind of tone. It's got sort of greenish hue, pale hue to it. And as it grabs your wrist, it pulls you down towards the mouth, which is on its shoulder, and it whispers into your ear, "Help me."
Twist the blade and hope it kills it. That's the only way I can think of helping it right now. Nah, I'm a little freaked out.
Yeah, you lean in more to twist the blade into its eye, and this long tongue extends from between its human lips, and the tongue is clearly not human, and it like licks along your face, and you can feel it kind of like stinging your skin in an uncomfortable grating sort of fashion.
While that's going on, can I jump on Sherman and charge at the other one to bite it and lift it in the air?
Sure, so you like whistle, Sherman comes flying through the sky, you leap onto him. And then do what? Which one are you going for?
The one that's not being held by Draken.
Yes, the other one is kind of like getting to its feet, and it's rounding on the captain, who's now drawn his sword in a defensive stance.
I'm just imagining he like goes for a swing and Sherman just chomps at it and just rushes past before he can even do anything.
Sure, so that sounds like a quick attack.
Would I have advantage for riding?
Yeah, sure, why not? Nine, yeah. Yes, you can like swoop by and Sherman bites a chunk out of its kind of lower back. This big mouthful of just like dead flesh that's dripping with this slightly glowing blue ichor. The shark like hungrily gulps it down. The thing like turns around in sort of pain and lets out another one of those warbling shrieks. I don't think anyone's still on the shore, are they?
Yeah, I think we're all in the boat by now.
Okay, yeah, so it lets out another shriek, and you hear this bestial roar from the village as a reply. And as it's got his back turned to him, the captain leans forward with the void blade and just like strikes it into it. And the thing clutches the space where the void blade is seared it, and you can see all this sort of wispy black mist coming out of the wound. And the thing screams again and smacks him to the side with its human hand. Blade still sticking into it.
Captain, go ready the ship. We'll finish off these monsters. We've got to get out of here. I'm gonna jump off Sherman and grab the handle of the sword and try to yank it free while cutting the monster.
Sounds flashy.
I'm going to disappear back into the rigging while he's doing that. I mean, away from these things.
I failed my first roll.
Okay, so you grab the blade, yank it out, it slices through it like a hot knife through butter. The thing just kind of spurts. It's like split in half now. Spurts and kind of like flops over. It's not dead, but you can just like swipe it to do a finishing blow and kill the thing, finish it off. And as you do so, you can hear that roar again, and you turn around and look at the village, and you can see one of the houses one of the village homes, just smashed to smithereens as this massive fleshy bulk of a creature charges through the village towards the boat. What do you want to know?
I'm gonna shout to everybody that the ship needs to leave, and I'm gonna try to hold this monster off with telekinesis, tripping him so he falls, or throwing a huge rock or crate into him just to buy a few seconds.
Do you want to throw the other monster on the ship at it?
Yeah, sure. Sounds like a good plan.
Because that'll get rid of both of them. Sure, roll for this spell. Oh, nice. Yes, you extend your telekinetic ability across the ship, grab the creature that's already wounded, hurl it across the short distance to the shore, slamming it into this big bulky mass that's coming towards you, into its legs, and the thing trips over and like skids into the shore. Pebbles and sand go flying everywhere, and this bulky fleshy mass of limbs and body parts, eyes and mouths and ears and tongues sticking out of it everywhere, all kind of like begging and screaming and yelling at the same time. As your ship just like about turns, the sails drop, and the captain frantically spins the wheel trying to steer you away. The one more experienced crewman has got like the big pole oar, and he's like trying to push off, get you as far away from the shoreline as possible.
While they're doing that, I'll just shoot the monster with arrows to try to help keep it back.
Does anyone else want to do anything? Do a damn dragon. Ricardo.
Ricardo's gonna see this abomination and start praying. Like, oh, sinful creatures who cannot bear or give life.
They might have been able to at one point.
No, there's sickly abominations at this point. Poor tragic creatures.
I don't think there's a lot I can do at this distance, so...
Throw a rock at it.
Do we just have convenient rocks on board? The point is something I could throw.
You can pick
There's
up
crates.
you can pick up the cargo and throw.
How big is this thing? Bigger than a house, or?
The thing is at least the size of one of the village houses, yeah, because it smashed through one.
Salazar yells at Durdan, throw something we can set on fire at it.
We'd have oil and adventure kits.
There'll definitely be oil used for lamps and stuff. And I said you were transporting like building materials and stuff like that, so there's probably like bales of hay or something in there as well.
Yeah, I'll tie, just because it sounds so entertaining, a bale of hay if there's one of them.
As soon as he sees what you're doing, Hoggle the captain starts like, no, what are you doing?
This is worth less than our lives.
What is more important, your cargo or your life?
Cargo. Don't you know
Yeah,
anything?
he's like, right now, my cargo. Like, why can't we have both?
Feel his pain. Don't worry.
This isn't a black and white decision.
We'll wait and see how close it gets, if we can escape without using it or not.
Yeah, sure. Durdan, do you want to roll forceful, and you can have advantage because Salazar's pinging it with arrows to keep it at bay.
Forceful, did you say?
Yes, with advantage.
And finally a 12.
Yes, you hurl the flaming cargo at it. spatters all over it, the oil splashes all over it, and the whole thing sends fire. All the mouths on it in unison let out yells and shrieks of pain. It sounds very human, as if you'd set a crowd of people on fire. And it dives into the water to extinguish itself.
We already know those things can swim.
Can you use your magic to push the boat faster, Rise?
Yeah, I can. I suppose. Well, I don't know how would I use telekinesis to fasten the boat.
I mean, I guess you could push against the water, the surface of the water, to kind of give the boat more acceleration.
Yeah, sure. I'll try it.
Oh, you're acing the fucking spells, man. Yes, imagine you spread out a wide kind of surface tension and use that to just kind of push the boat along and give it more acceleration, helping increase the distance between you and this gurgling mass. As it kind of tries to swim, but it doesn't have the appendages that the others had. It kind of just flails around and slowly drowns itself as it tries to give chase after you all. And it just like gurgles and bubbles. And eventually there's no more disturbance in the water, and it's just a floating hulk.
An abomination. The face to the goddess herself.
All course, abomination.
Smithy wraps his hands around Ricardo, weeping with joy. Thank you, Ricardo, you saved me.
All in duty to the great goddess. No lifeful creatures should ever pass to such abominations.
Like, puts his hands around your face and gives you a long romantic kiss.
To which Ricardo will return passionately and then swift him off to a nearby room.
Never waste the opportunity to sweep someone off their feet. By morning,
The goddess of love.
By morning, you've forgotten his name.
Yep. You gotta remember, it's the goddess of love and passion. Do you think that her followers are going to be straight?
No. No, there's, you know,
Obviously.
call it's hot.
Exactly. They're going to be hearing some pleasurable noises and screams and prayers to the goddess Euphoria throughout the night.
I'm gonna hide the Void Blade on Sherman's saddle before the captain notices I haven't given it back yet.
Yeah, sure, he's too busy cussing and swearing about the loss of some of his cargo.
The other of them just like sits down and starts wrapping bandages around his arm. Even though he's not bleeding or anything, he's just like, people wounded do this.
Just like energy seeping out your cracks.
Absolutely.
Indeed, there's method in his madness.
Does anyone else notice that I've stolen the Void Blade? Or was the fight too hectic?
I think the other crewman, whose name I've already forgotten, Pete, he notices what you're doing, but he doesn't say anything. You kind of make eye contact at one point, and he just gives a slight nod. Doesn't say a word.
He doesn't want
kinda
the cursed sword on his ship.
No one wants a cursed sword on the ship. I don't want a cursed sword in the party. You crazy.
I think during all that, however, the captain did notice Drakan.
What?
Well, he noticed you because you jumped down and like stabbed the thing and all that little shadow
Oh,
step
that's
down.
fine.
Yeah, so when you're doing
I
that,
was at the village when everything was going down, you know?
yeah. So the captain, once you've really saved us away, and the captain's sure nothing else is following. You know, he gives hands off the ship to Pete. Then he comes down. It's like, and which of you knew that we had the stowaway this entire time?
I'm not a stowaway. I was here at the village. I was trying to survive. You guys showed up. I took my chance.
And where's the fee for your passage, huh? You're going to cover
That
compensation
just
for
helped
my
you
goods
guys
that we just
survive.
lost?
This helps you guys survive. What are you talking about a fee? This is humanity.
Yes, he helped slay that those great abominations.
I mean, we'd never had those abominations if you hadn't ventured and meddled with your wanted and cut that body down.
I didn't cut the body down. I was just in the village, like, trying to survive. You guys came and cut that body down.
It's like, give me like likely story.
Anyway, don't you remember? He already paid passage. He
No, I just got
Hear
you.
some.
I just.
At this point, you're just going to hear some very manly moans and groans.
Oh, Ricardo.
Oh, Ricardo! Oh, Ricardo! Oh, Ricardo! Woo!
Oh my Jesus. That's not like an awkward thing to be looking at somebody when you hear yelling out.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that kind of breaks up the conversation. Everyone kind of pretends to not hear and that they're doing something else.
Yeah, Salazar just goes back to adjusting Sherman's bags.
I think, given the opportunity, Pete will come up to Salazar. Is it true? Is that blade truly cursed?
Yes, we got it from one of the a shadow paladin.
Surely you should throw it overboard while you have the opportunity.
We need to find a better place to get rid of it. If we throw it in the river, it might curse the whole river.
He makes the sign of Yaren across his chest and starts murmuring a prayer. He goes back to his duties. Right, how you feel now?
Well, thinking that we are fucked because we just entered behind the enemy's lines, and who knows what is about to greet us at the Hogstad. So I've come to them one by one, just checking how is everybody, and telling them to keep eyes open because we are about to encounter more probably.
So there you go.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Okay, I was just gonna say, so the first one you approached Durdam, who is like sat down and like wrapping bandages around his massive stone limbs.
I look at him and ask him, "What are you doing?"
Obvious, isn't it? Those things bloody hurt.
Can I take a look?
Aye, all over me. You can't even remember exactly where he got hit. He's just kind of wrapping his arm.
Yeah, he's wrapping his arm, and Raj, you're looking at him at these 4 massive holes that are just like stabbed into his torso. And the 5th one that's kind of like on the underside of it. And it's sort of the blue glowing energy emitting from the holes in him.
So I'm curious, would a healing potion heal him, or would a mana potion heal him?
It's a good question.
I'm pretty sure we need a repair kit. Isn't that how you fix walls?
I guess, like, technically, it could be the mana potion, but yeah, I don't know.
Does anyone have a mana potion to pour on him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mana potions.
Yeah, I mean, you can pour it over him to experiment.
I got one. I got one to spare. I'm gonna walk up to him and see if it heals him or not, and like sort of being in the punching bag for the mana potion as well.
Sure, do that. Do you want to roll 1d4 and see how many wounds you recover?
Oh, I think that's literally all of my wound attacks.
I think so, yeah. Your pain will recover within an hour of rest, and that applies to anybody that took pain.
Druidum is just like, oh fuck, what are you doing? My bandages are soaked.
Tell him to check his injuries and look at the holes to see if they're still there.
Yeah, you can see the blue energy like glows brighter, fills the holes, and then kind of coalesces and solidifies and forms stone again to fill them.
I can just imagine he looks down. He just like says, "What holes?" Because he looks down and they're already gone.
He just kind of like flexes a bit and he's, oh, but my shoulders do feel better.
Bandages really do the trick.
Yeah, wet bandages. Who would have thought?
It must be some sort of horrible remedy.
I sit next to Duridam as the conversation is going on, and I ask him bluntly, have you ever thought that maybe you are not a dwarf?
I've lived with dwarves all my life. I'm just like one of them. Maybe a bit bigger than some, but
Well, as far as I know, dwarfs have red blood, just like we do.
I don't listen to him. Jared, you're the dwarfiest dwarf I know.
he just kind of looks over himself and he's, oh, I guess it must have missed my vitals.
No, I don't think that's the case, Duridam.
Oh man.
I really don't think you are a dwarf or anything like it, to be honest.
Well, what looks like me if not a dwarf?
I cannot tell. But that was mana potion. That was not a healing potion. That's what confuses me. Duridam, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that you are not a dwarf. I don't want to upset you, but I certainly believe that you are not a dwarf.
Well, I'll take it into consideration, but I've never heard something like that in my life.
But you must know your parents, or where did you grow up? Where is your hometown?
I grew up in the mountains. I don't remember which mountains exactly, but yeah, my family were all dwarves. My parents were dwarves. How could I not be a dwarf?
Interesting.
What are your parents' names?
Oh, I had this noted somewhere. Fuck. Actually, I've lost his parents' names. I had them noted somewhere, but his family are the stone bakers anyway.
Yeah, so you're able to give the parents' names. You just don't have them tagged.
I will find them somewhere, so definitely say the text spell.
Yeah, so you're able to name your parents. You're also able to name, like any good dwarf, the lineage, back several generations.
Maybe he was cursed to be like this.
It's true, I've never been as small as other dwarves, or even humans, but I've lived with my family since I was born, as long as I can remember, until we were driven out of the mountains. And he thinks they were all driven out, he doesn't realise where all the other dwarves have gone.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you have a memory of your your parent, your father, or someone, your mother, ushering you into a secret passage and saying, "Go, Duradam, flee now, we will all follow you." You run along dutifully, to escape, and you turn around and there's like a rock fall and the passage is closed behind you.
Oh, aye. Zakin. And he hands you a healing potion. I've not got that fancy stuff you used, but take this.
They hand me a healing potion.
He hands you the healing potion that he bought because he doesn't know what you used. And he's like, well, I owe you one.
Awesome. Fair trade. Thanks.
Does he just think the healing potion is some kind of fancy wine?
He thinks it's like a herbal mixture that comes from some strange land.
Imagine, you just bought it because everyone else was buying one. And you're like, oh, I better get one too.
Oh yeah, like when we bought the healing potion, yeah, and he also bought a repair kit because Salazar told him he needs it. But he doesn't understand what it's for either.
Why would I need all these chisels and hammers?
Oh man.
I'm dying of laughter here. Literally.
Yeah,
dying
I'm
of
assuming
laughter.
that's what everyone's doing.
I'm trying not to
No, because
laugh
I've got
too
my
loud.
I'm struggling to breathe, and this laughter is literally just making it harder to breathe.
These characters are also good one. Yeah, so you are back on the river, the northern half of the river, past the lake. Here, there's definitely been a taint on the land that continues up the bank, and you're constantly on watch for more of these fleshy abominations. Who's probably the best for keeping watch?
I was thinking also that if we could arrange the cargo on ship so we can improvise barricades, if something attacks us from the shore. So we place the cargo as barricades.
Yeah, line it up either side so you're like protected in the centre. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Salazar, because you have the shark and the capability to kind of scout ahead around, if you want to make a roll for that.
Sure. It just 2d6.
Probably careful, because you're going to be... I mean, it depends what your approach is.
Salazar is everything except for careful.
Okay, so you're probably more likely to do it quickly, because you're just like darting ahead and then back again before you get seen.
There's too many clouds.
God, you just got so many fails.
This is only my second one today.
Well, I mean, collectively.
Yeah, we seem to be just rolling atrociously.
I don't know, everything else except for these last two were all great success.
Sure, that's... So, yeah, you scout around and, although there's devastation, a lack of game, I think you would notice being a hunter, there's nothing, like, dangerous that you can spot on your trips.
Oh, he goes back to the ship and it looks like everything has fled the area. There's no animals, barely any insects. Something evil is here.
Yeah, even the plants, the trees seem to have been, like, stripped down. You might have thought, like, a fire had raged through, but there's no sign of, like, scorching. So, what kind of approach would you tell the captain to make with the ship? To try and do it hurriedly, or to take his time and be more cautious?
I think since we've already been attacked, we should probably go carefully.
I think with all the screaming noises of pleasure going on, he probably wants to quickly get us off the boat.
Well, I imagine he wants to get you quickly off the boat regardless, but there's no way he can just like throw you off. So it would probably self-preservation would be the prevailing thought.
Yeah,
So he'd go quickly.
that's what I would imagine. He'd go quickly.
I think Rise. Do you want to give me a quick roll? I think you probably have the most sway with them. Okay, so let's say it's not slow and you don't encounter danger. Yeah, so you make pretty good time, and you get to the northern section of the river, and you see the plumes of smoke coming from the village of Hogstadt, and at first you're kind of fearful that maybe it's been razed to the ground in fire, but as you approach you can see like lights in the windows of the village. So it's dark and overcast here, you know, the area around it doesn't look in good condition. It's not quite as ravaged as the past few miles have been.
But we still don't see any people.
You'll see the occasional person. One of them kind of like sees the boat coming in waves and then goes back inside their home.
I'll be right back, and you go low.
Yeah, I mean, we can take a couple of minutes break if you want. I need to lose, so.
Yeah, I gotta use the bathroom.
Sure.
So for shapeshifter, do I just have one animal I can turn into, or is it just any animal I've seen before?
I think every time we used it previously, it was one animal. But was it not Falco had it before?
I think
Yeah,
so.
shapeshifter is like a inborn thing. It's not a magical capability. So I think it's only one animal you can change into. But if you take a spell, you can change into any animal you've seen recently.
And I picked the trait one, so I guess it'd just be one animal then.
Yeah, one animal of your choosing.
All right, what kind of birds live in the desert?
Eagles.
Forgotten the name of some of them. Is there not like a condor or something? What kinds of vultures?
Oh, those giant vultures.
But yeah, I don't know many birds. Of course, you could just invent one.
I think even crows can survive in the desert.
I'll AFK with it.
All right. Yeah, I'll be right back.
He's the back, yeah.
Trying to decide what kind of animal he can turn into.
Right, I was trying to think. Duradam and Rise both have an XP because you actually did a fireside chat.
And did we get some rest while we were traveling to?
Oh, yes, you'll definitely. So you have all your pain recovered and you'll have a stress recovered. And if you've got XP, you can level up again, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about like dwarf naming conventions or anything, but I've got Baravuli and Dorfoni as his father and mother.
Okay, sure, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, although we're ripping from other things for a lot of things in these fantasy games, you're free to use any kind of like naming conventions you want, really.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd try and keep it kind of.
Dorothy, yeah, I went the same with the settlements and things like that. It's funny how when you're free to like make up any kind of slants or traditional fantasy stuff, though, you tend to just go back to what you know.
Tied into.
Yeah, and Tolkien's influence runs deep into fantasy genre.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, you can do dwarfs. I have done dwarfs differently for different things, but like, who doesn't love dwarfs? In the way they're portrayed, you know what I mean? Why change them?
I feel like they're featured quite prominently in the stuff that I've been in with you.
I think it's just because everyone likes dwarfs. Like, although the goblins in our set are a little different from what they're usually portrayed as.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they're not just mindless evil monsters. They're actually
they're actually. I mean,
living.
yeah, and we did the one before, and they were like an advanced civilization in the past with great power and magic and stuff like that, and now they're just sort of scattered remnants of that.
Yeah, it seems like we're pulling more from like World of Warcraft goblins.
There's,
which are based on Chinese goblins.
yeah, there's definitely an element of different things in there.
also the like Final Fantasy 14 goblins are quite like technological, I think.
Yeah, and that's
Again, I think
Warhammer as well is also a big influence for me.
Yeah, so that's what he can transform into, like a small flying lizard.
Okay. Okay, so
yeah,
if we're
so I
all
just want to say the whole idea of like goblins being the engineers and like the originators of science and technology is actually like Chinese mythology.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like that, and they're like the proper wizards and stuff like that, man. It makes sense when you're so small stature, you're going to make up for it in other ways. But yeah, so you arrive Hogstadt. As I said, it's quiet. It's definitely not deserted. And it's weird because in amongst everything else here, this area doesn't seem as badly affected. And the village itself seems to be just fine. The grass is green, there's flowers, there's crops, there's cattle, there's birds in the trees. But still, there's something not right about the atmosphere here. But the captain just looks relieved. He's here. He can offload his wares, do the trades, and finally get rid of you lot, who've brought him nothing but trouble.
I mean,
I'll
he's
advise the
only down
captain.
And he hasn't said it, but he's obviously annoyed that his sword is missing as well.
Yeah, I'll just advise the captain that he should, as soon as he leaves, the better, and probably better if he does not return back here.
Oh, it'll be a bloody while, lad, before I come back up this way. Until I've known you're all good and dead.
So, I look at the party and... Drakan, how about we two split the party and we all gather up in the evening in the tavern?
Still music track.
Okay, that sounds fine to me. I'm going with Sharkboy though.
Yeah, let's see what we can find. And we're gonna share information in the evening in the tavern. Well, the rest of you can also do your own thing. See what you can find out.
Okay, so you're going off on your own rise, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into astral shape and do some investigation.
Right,
See what I
okay.
can find.
Yeah, I mean, as soon, or maybe even before you phase shift, that bright energy that surrounds Ricardo all the time you can see this town is like scattered with it. I mean, it's not as prominent or as focused as he is, but you can see it's like sprinkled everywhere.
And what kind of signature?
The goddess Euphoria.
Oh.
The same
Interesting.
golden light.
It's gold, but it's got a sort of pinkish hue around the edges of it. I think.
Yeah. Golden
God.
pink sprinkles.
A town full of avocados.
Do any of the people look suspiciously like Ricardo?
You can't see any people. No one comes out to greet the ship. Smithy and Pete and Hoggle set about unloading the ship, but they yell for help, but nobody comes to the dock. And Smithy has to go off and Smithy has to go off and fetch a cart himself so they can start loading stuff.
Yeah, Smithy's also walking very funny.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
With that, I want to head off and find a marketplace.
Are you going off on your own? You're going with Salazar.
Salazar, assuming he wants to go to the marketplace.
Yeah, he'll probably just wander around the town looking for people or shops or the tavern or something.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally you see someone coming out of a house and going into another house. Quite often they're like half naked, like they're topless or bottomless, and they've just got like a shirt on, and it's just barely covering their privates. You get to walk passes for a marketplace, and there's some stalls set out. One or two people are manning them, but most people are like not there. It's quite empty. Sorry, Ricardo, on you go.
This seems like a very pleasant village.
He says as an elderly woman passes him by and gives him a knowing wink.
I'll give her a wink and I'll blow a kiss to her too.
Oh, okay, so she turns around and steps over towards you and like slides her hand into your hand and leans in to whisper to you, telling you that her place is just around the corner.
Oh. I'll be sure to make a visit. Sadly, I have some business to attend to first.
She pinches
the back of her hand.
She pinches your buttocks before she leaves.
Mm-hmm. Feisty one she is.
Well, Salazar will approach one of the merchants at the stall and ask what's going on here. Why is everyone like this?
He's a very well-groomed gentleman with a long pointed grey beard, and as you approach he's just like brushing it with a tiny comb. Do you have your shark with you?
Yeah, he'd be above us, but not too far.
Yeah, just tailing you. Yeah, so I mean, you approach and he gives you a smile, a very warm, welcoming smile. He sees the shark. It's like, oh, that's a strange beast you have there.
We hail from the far south, past the what ocean was that? That was between the North and South continent.
Oh god, the name of the actual ocean escapes me. But yeah, she's here from the southern continent. Like, oh yes, you have beautiful skin. And he like leans forward and like strokes the side of your face gently.
Thank you.
Tell me, what do you use to keep it so young looking?
Oh, that's just how most of the people are in my tribe. Even the oldest person looks like they're only 40.
I simply must travel south someday then. You're a beautiful looking man, I must say. You're not married, are you?
I'm gonna start stepping away at this point. I want no part of that conversation.
Unfortunately, I am. And he steps back.
Oh, well, and he leans forward and he starts to hold your hand. You do know that the great goddess Euphoria, she blesses all relationships within marriage.
Ricardo will just jump in here. Of course, she blesses all passionate relations of love. As long as feelings...
Yes, a fellow worshipper. You simply must visit the church. We have a grand temple here.
Oh, I most certainly do.
Unfortunately for Euphoria, my marriage is already blessed by the living God.
Living God?
He pats your hand and he lets go. That's unfortunate. But they must be very happy with you. So what, pray tell, brings you here all the way north?
We are seeking aid for the dwarves against the siege of Carricklock.
He leans back, kind of like folds his fingers, and he's got a smile on his face. He's like, oh, I knew a brave dwarven warrior once. Ruggish lad he was.
I was sent here by Euphoria herself.
You don't say. He leans forward, interested.
Yes.
The
As you
god-
can see by the market, all the symbols of Euphoria all over my armor. It's like, I am a paladin in her service.
A paladin? So you use violence in her name? You do not use
No,
the power of love?
Heavens no! You do not use violence in her name. You use passion! And we only use that against those devoid of life, bringers. The unpassionate ones.
He's like smiling and nodding along. You can see the couple of other merchants that are there, men and women alike, are like nodding along and smiling as well. Two of them just kind of lean across each other and give each other a hug and then lean into a passionate kiss.
Euphoria blesses all who seek naught but love and passion, and for what joys and bliss that may bring.
And the handful
And
of them there cheer.
And it's it, and therefore she gives smite and despises those, the creatures, the abominations that cannot accept and give love.
And at that
And can
moment,
therefore...
at that moment, Duradam just like trundles along behind you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the image, like, because they couldn't find anyone else to load the ship, he'd been helping out and finally catches up this now.
They're all cheering along, and Duradam, you come in, and everybody seems to be in a great mood here.
What's been going on here?
They all kind of go quiet, puzzled.
Town, they worship the great goddess Euphoria.
Friends. And he's just like laughing along hostily with them, even though they've stopped.
The merchant man gives you a angled head and a puzzled look, Ricardo.
Yes? This is my friend, Durden. He's a giant dwarf.
They all give each other side looks. They're just starting to get accustomed to when this is mentioned to people.
And Durden extends his hand to the merchant, like, nice to meet you.
He politely puts his hand out and like touches it in the same way that he touched Salazar's. And it's like, oh, your hands they feel like stone.
Yes, I'm very hardened.
Sorry, I make you laugh every time.
Hardened.
He lets go of it, and he's almost got a kind of air of disgust, and he does so as if he's touched something filthy. You are you living?
Of course. What sort of questions do they ask in this place? And are you?
Well, of course. The blood of Euphoria pulses through my veins and drives my passion.
He just chuckles along. With like, yes.
Can I take a closer look at this guy?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Does he look similar to Ricardo?
No, not at all. Ricardo, I imagine, has got quite dark skin, being from the southern continent. This guy's a lot more pale skinned. And he's older, he's balding, but he's got the facial hair. Whereas Ricardo's a lot more obviously handsome as well, with darker features. Is that right, Ricardo?
Yes. If you want an idea what I think Ricardo looks like, look at a young picture of Tony Dalton.
Yeah, they don't look similar, no.
Darn, I was trying to see if they were his descendants or something.
So Draken, you kind of sidled off when this conversation was getting comfortable for you. Where did you go?
You said there's only a few stalls, like only a few man stalls, but are the stalls that aren't manned, like, will leave their product out, or like they
No,
actually pack up and go for the
yeah,
day?
there's no products. It's just like empty stalls.
Okay, so they actually did pack up and leave for the day. Okay.
No, there's not stuff just lying around for you to steal.
That wasn't my concern. I was worried that like something had happened, so they had just like literally abandoned what they were doing.
So I'll say there's a couple that are abandoned that way, and for one of them, you know, a woman comes out from behind the curtain of the cart behind, or the wagon behind the stall, and she's like, you know, buttoning up her dress as she comes out from behind the curtain and fixing her hair.
Can I ask her to point me in the direction of the tavern or inn or something of this kind?
Ah, yes, the drinking hall, of course, she says. She points you towards down the street. There's a very fine-looking building that's 2 floors high. It's got 4 windows along the length of it and a door at the end. You see a couple of people like going inside just as she's pointing down the street at it. They sell some of the finest wine of the region down there. I say, are you here alone?
Thank you for the information. I'm just gonna start headed towards the tavern.
Jack is very quickly sister.
What's going on in this town? I want no part of it.
What about you guys? Where are you going off to and what are you looking for?
Well, first of all, the outskirts of the village, are they tainted? Is that some kind of a
Yeah, I mean,
magical barrier?
if you go as far as like a mile out, you start seeing the taint, the corruption really starting to take hold again. But for the mile or so around the village, it's faint and fading. The village has definitely been blessed or protected from this, or maybe just it swerved by and avoided them. As well as the village houses and the inn, there is a stone temple, which is a bit unlike a lot of the buildings, which are more kind of wooden and plaster wattle and stuff that they're made of. The temple looks much older than the rest of the village as well, and it's a circular building.
Well, from the demon mage, I remember I'm looking for somebody here. So a temple is a first stop I'm gonna make.
Sure. As you approach the temple, the doors are wide open, and you can hear the unmistakable sounds of carnal love going on inside. As you peek through the doorway, you see that there is an orgy going on right now in the middle of the temple. Dozens of naked bodies writhing, caressing, kissing, and other actions with each other. The place is hot and sweaty.
Ricardo just walks by at this point, nods to, and joins in the orgy.
Nods, whips off his clothes and dives in. As if it's like this happens every day kind of thing.
Exactly. Just tips a hat, walks in, just the urchin.
Ricardo
Clothes
being
just fly off.
Ricardo being oblivious as well, it doesn't occur to him that it's a bit weird that there's a Euphoria temple village this far north, because it is more of a southern deity.
Yes.
Well, anyways, Rise is gonna sit in the center of the village and observe carefully for anything that comes out of the picture.
That comes out with what, sorry?
Anything that sticks out.
Okay, so Draken, you approach the wine tavern. Are you going inside or what?
No. I'm not a way to like sneak in, upstairs or downstairs, like a basement or something.
Sure, so you're gonna shadow step inside, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so you step into a shadow, and as we said before, when you're stepping through a shadow, you step into the shadow realm, and it's this like warren of passageways where shadows all link up with each other. An experienced walker such as yourself knows which ones to pick and how to traverse them. Usually, there are things that inhabit the shadow realm, but you know you do it quickly so that you're not seen. And of late, there's not been as many shadow creatures in the shadow realm. The beings, the deities that kind of oversee this realm don't seem as omnipresent as they did before. You can't feel their presence when you enter it. But this time when you're stepping between them, you just catch in the corner of your eye that shadowy outline of a figure, a tall, thin figure again, which is gone when you try to turn around and catch it in full vision. So you step through and you're inside the upper floor of the tavern. You can hear singing, you can hear the clinking of glasses, and in the rooms on the upper floor, the creaking of beds.
I have to worry about being caught at least. I'm just gonna head out, see if I can't find wherever the owner would keep his room at. Whoever owns the tavern.
Sure, so there is a slightly larger room at the end of the floor. You pass like 4 other rooms and the stairs that go downstairs to the main hall, and at the end there's like a room. The door is open, you can just push it gently aside, and as you do so you can hear, now you don't hear the sounds of lovemaking, but you can hear people kissing.
In the room?
Yes, there's a couple on the bed, a man and a woman, quite young, naked, and they're just embracing and kissing each other.
I use my poison to knock them out, not kill them. So they're distracted.
Sure, you can have advantage and you can roll with stealthy.
Uh, 6, 10 plus 2 is 12.
Yes, they're completely preoccupied. You're easily able. This is the smoke pistol one, isn't it?
Right, so it can kill if I roll, like, if I was trying to kill them, this roll would kill them. I had to roll 10 plus to kill them, or it just knocks them out, kind of deal.
Yeah, so
I'm
you
trying not to kill them.
yeah, you gauge the amount of exposure or whatever.
Right.
Yes, so you managed to gauge it correctly and you vapor them, and they both kind of just like slink into a deep slumber on the bed. The room around you is quite opulent for a remote town this far north. There's silken sheets, there's very fine embroidery, there's lots of nice looking trinkets that are kind of silver and have little gemstones in them. Whoever's running this place is doing pretty well for themselves.
I'm gonna look for like any kind of a logbook, like a purchasing record or something like that, to see what kind of
Sure.
these being in
If you go to the writing desk, open the drawer and take out a large book of parchments that's been stitched together, and as you open it up you can see that they are very detailed artistic drawings of naked people in various poses.
Make a good
Pictures
gift for
from
Ricardo.
Are they pictures from the Dia Euphoria, the holy book?
What are you saying, Jack?
So this would make a good gift for Ricardo.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the artistry here is phenomenal. There's been a lot of effort put into this.
I'm gonna put that in my pack and keep looking.
I'll keep that for later.
I'll give that to
Ricardo already
Ricardo.
has the 2 copies of the Dia Euphoria with him, which have all those images.
So, Ricardo, I mean, you're busy in the orgy and probably will be for some time.
Yes.
Okay, so Durman and Salazar, you are still at the marketplace. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna leave the marketplace. It's I'm just gonna head towards the outskirts of town.
So you're like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think like he was going to wander looking for Vives, because Vives was the one who said this place was going to be dangerous. But so far, everyone seems very friendly.
Yes. You walk around the town, Durman, and people like stop and stare at you, point at you. Occasionally, they do try to talk to you. But you know, once they've like touched your stone or whatever, they seem hesitant to come back to you. And eventually they're just sort of murmuring between themselves and keeping their distance from you. Salazar, you're outside the village. What are you looking for?
I'm just gonna. He's just gonna wander around the outskirts of town looking for anything odd or strange activity.
So, I mean, once again, you're going to see like about a mile out of town, the corruption really setting in again, and this happens in all directions. Clearly, this area is protected somehow, or being shielded from its influence in some way.
I'll head towards where the change is at, and see if I can find anything there, like any traces or tracks for anyone who's been there lately.
Sure, give me a careful roll.
Would I have an advantage for tracking?
Yes, you will. Yes, so
11.
Yeah. Well, you have 6 and 6, so it's 12, isn't it? Oh, -1, sorry. So you find a multitude of tracks, very peculiar. They don't really match an animal you recognise or a beast you recognise. Some of them are kind of human, some of them are malformed, others are definitely animal in nature, hoofs and such. But they're all over the place. It's as if there's just like almost like a massive herd or stampede of misshapen creatures that have been wandering through the area, heading kind of northeast.
But they're all heading through the town, just ignoring it.
They've bypassed the town. Yes, this is happening like much further out into the corruption proper.
I'm gonna head back towards town and look for the others to tell them what I found.
Who else was trying to speak there? I missed it.
I don't think I had anyone else.
No.
Anybody?
It was just me. So Durmand, after you were like walking around, you're looking for Rise. Rise, you were at the temple, so I imagine Durmand spots you at some point. Or are you still phased in when you're looking around?
Yeah, I'm still phased, looking around.
Sure. So you can see, I mean, you're blinded, and when you look inside the temple by not just the light from the temple and the worship in there itself, but from Ricardo, who's just, you know, blasting it everywhere. You can see Durman's form almost as well in the phased out sort of way as you can normally, because he is just this pure energy. But after you've been to Temple Rise, what would you like to do?
Well, since nothing suspicious is happening, and that is suspicious by itself, I'm gonna try to see anybody, maybe even leaving a village or not acting as everybody else is acting. I'm just being observant and still.
Okay, give me a careful roll. I think everyone here kind of has the same aura and energy about them. They're clearly all being touched by euphoria, the same energy that comes from Ricardo, although to a much lesser extent. And the whole area seems to kind of be sprinkled with it, as I said before. But there is a small, you can sense the small sort of corrupting influence of Draken from his form. And you can also feel a slightly similar kind of influence coming from where the wine tavern is.
That's the same place.
Yeah, so there's like a larger sort of concentration of it there.
So I'll head over there.
Still phase form, so you go in and there's like a massive bodies and energy in there, and you can pick out on the lower floor. You can sense Drakens, but you're used to what his is like up on the top floor. But on the lower floor, you can sense that there's a person in there, in amongst a big crowd of people, laughing and drinking and celebrating in various ways. And they have not as much as Draken, but a slight taint to them, a slight different aura. But this person also seems to sense you when you approach in proximity. Although obviously they can't communicate with you when you're faced.
Yes, and slowly I'm gonna cut the distance between the two of us. I'm approaching that person. Slowly and carefully.
As you're upstairs, Draken, looking through the journals and such, a lot of it is talking about Euvoria's blessing, how great this revelation has been, how happy everyone is. But then you find an older journal, and as you're turning the pages there, it's a different story that's unfolding. It's a one of despair, fear, great calamity, including the disappearance of all the local children. And that's where we're going to end it today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing there aren't any kids here.
Yeah, it seems a good spot to end it.
Yep.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the Salazar mentioning that wild folk is abducting people.
Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were saving them from whatever was happening here.
Maybe. There's always more to rumors.
And then again, Euphoria might not exactly be a good goddess. We never said she was a good one.
Yeah, passion and lust aren't always good things. Sometimes they need to be tempered by reason and logic and such.
Well, maybe that's why she was such a spiteful bitch.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's corrupted like it was, like Yaron was in the last village. You don't know what's happening.
No, you don't.
Oh, how like the healing light was showing everyone's more corrupted side or darker side.
I mean, I'm kind of just surprised Durham wasn't assaulted on site.
Well, that we're building to that.
I mean,
Yeah.
no
I
matter
think
what.
calling you a giant dwarf at first, like, made them give you a bit of a pass. For now.
I think the fact that you're just traveling with Ricardo is what gave you a pass.
Ricardo
maybe
gave
it's-
him a vouch.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, I mean, I was thinking because Ricardo introduced himself as a paladin as well, and they're like, well, why is this thing with you? You know what I mean? Giving them pause for thought, and they're like, is he alive? Maybe he is alive. Maybe he just looks strange. But then when they're touching him and talking to him, they're like, oh no, this isn't right at all. He's very unnatural.
Maybe it's the fact that you're 8 feet tall and made of rocks that they're not attacking you.
That could
I feel like
be.
that would
No.
Zealots.
When they unanimously will agree that he is not alive and therefore is an abomination to Euphoria, they'll try and kill him.
Yeah, things will go sideways. I like Draken, just like, nope, this isn't for me.
Nope, this kind of village is not for me. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not for me.
And Salazar as well.
I
He's
just
just
like-
like, I'm going back to the woods.
I just like hearing it's like, oh, there's a Rise just says like there's an orgy in the temple. Ricardo just appears out of nowhere going, join in.
And I like the idea that Duradin doesn't even notice they're like overly affectionate because they'll fucking hate him, but he doesn't even notice that either.
He's not so oblivious, so he just doesn't notice that this like town's all about shagging each other to bits.
Yeah, I think like he'd show up at the temple and go, "Oh, I'm not meant to be here," and then leave.
Yeah,
But-
somebody mentioned that the dwarves are stoics, right?
Yep. I can imagine he walks in the temple, sees the orgy, and goes like, "Oh, I guess I got the wrong house."
No, he
Yeah.
sees the temple, and then he covers what would be his eyes, and he's like, oh goodness.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Like he doesn't even realize the card was in there. He says, "Oh,
He's just like,
wrong place,
oh,
sorry."
oh, they're all getting dressed. Oh, I'm not supposed to be here.
I love with the absolute insane cast of characters we've got. The golem that thinks of the dwarf just takes the cake every time.
Bud's characters are always great though. It's just, it is the way they kind of bounce off each other as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
how we
think-
unintentionally had a paladin who was obsessed with love and like creatures of love and passion in our characters, and an animated golem.
Yeah, I think if everyone had gone like really serious characters, then Duradin wouldn't work at all.
Well, he would work, but it'd be a much more twisty, sort of dark aspect to it. But
Yeah, like the way that I've been doing them wouldn't work.
yes, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so after session, everyone gets an XP. And then if anyone filled a drive, they get an XP.
Do those abominations count as monsters?
Oh, definitely.
So did we learn anything about them?
I don't think you learned anything about them.
Or
Big
just
one can't swim.
that they're avoiding the town?
I mean, you'll definitely get the opportunity to learn about them, but I don't think you really learned anything about them. Well, I mean, you learned they existed. So, I mean, that, and they can die. So that's the thing.
Who was it that they like begged to for help again? Was that Dakin or was that Salazar?
That was Draken, because then it licked him.
Ah,
I said help me, and then it licked me. But that's not weird at all, you know.
So we learned that someone's turning humans into abominations.
Yes, you definitely learned something, because you learned about them. You just don't know
Yeah,
quite
'cause-
what they are, or what.
Yeah, because my new drive from last time was to learn about new monsters.
Yeah, so, I mean, you did learn about new monster, so definitely qualifies. Anyone else get a drive?
Slaying loveless creatures, the abominations.
Yep.
Take down the corrupt mages and nobles, but I suppose cleric being in charge of the church is valid.
He was one of the 3 highest ranking people in that town. Yes, I actually thought you would have got the Lord Mayor, but you fled before doing that.
But not paying for the boat trip count as greed.
I guess, yeah, because there was no other reason to do it apart from your own selfish greed.
I just didn't want to pay 20 gold because I had it. I had double that. I could have
Yeah,
paid for it.
I thought you did.
Yeah, I had double that. So I could have paid for it.
Yeah, because you do. Okay, and then XP for characters doing something awesome. Who wants to put someone up?
I think tossing the monster at the other monster was pretty good. Also, like, boosting a boat away. Knives, I mean.
There wasn't really a lot of awesome moments this game. It was more travel and roleplay.
Yeah, but those can be awesome moments as well. Okay, so I think Rise gets one because he did a couple awesome things with the telekinesis. He also went
Yeah,
into the church himself, rolled through the guys, and then killed the thing and then shifted out there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was
I was about
gonna
to
say,
suggest
like,
that entirely.
Yeah, you're more of an assassin at this point than a knight.
But I
Ricardo,
like the scene where he closed the door with that, yeah.
I think Ricardo, just because I loved embracing the homosexual relationship on the boat and jumping into the orgy.
Yeah, the origin.
Hey, I also saved his life. I used my healing potion to save him.
That's true, yes. Like, I meant the whole, like, it was a very romantic scene.
Yes, it was. And Ricardo is a passionate man, no matter which way it goes.
Yeah, I love that.
He does have a penchant for women, but, you know, a fine, sexy beast he will.
I also liked
Take
Draken giving Duradam the mana potion.
Oh, that scene, yeah.
My favorite how Durdan was just oblivious to the entire attack until he was like hurt.
Had holes punched
Stabbed
into him.
multiple times. I love that he was bandaging himself, like trying to heal himself.
That whole scene I liked, yeah.
I'm not joking. I was dying of laughter. I actually lost my glasses because they'd flung them off in laughter.
When he's like, "Oh, thanks, my bandages are soaked now." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What? No, I healed you." Like, what do you mean your bandages are? Like, what?
I said, wow, bandages really work.
Has anyone got a Salazar thing that they thought was awesome? Okay. So everyone else gets an XP for something awesome. Salazar, try harder.
Alright, I'll shoot more people.
Party overcame a notable enemy or task. Notable? I don't think so this time.
I can't actually like say this one, but yeah, like when Salazar was at pinning the big monster down, so that we could toss the flaming stuff onto it was good. But I can't really say that because I was part of it.
It's helpful, but I mean, I don't know if it's like a standalone awesome thing. You know what I mean? I mean, he is very useful, flying around everywhere.
Maybe I gotta have my shark eat more people.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if your shark like one shot somebody sometime, that's great.
Yep.
So I don't think for notable enemy or task this time. Party learned something new about their characters or the world.
Yeah, we learned about the Vulcan guy.
You learned about Duradam's parents.
You've learned a little bit about Jordan you didn't know about, yeah.
Yep.
You learned about Volcor, and Rise from you guys learned about going to Kendaldar. So yeah, he's going to have an XP for that one. What level is everyone sitting at now then?
I'm level 2 from the last time.
I'm level
level 1.
Sorry, Alan, what did you say?
Level 1.
Level 1. How many XP have you got?
I've got 6.
Alright, so you're well on your way to level 2 anyway.
Yeah.
Where's
2/3 of the way there.
Where's yours at, Phil?
I'm level 2.
How much XP have you got?
7.
Alright, okay, so you're very nearly level 3. Yeah, I think we'll keep the XP for fails. I don't think it's too bad. And everybody's sort of at roughly the same progression point as well. And also, it evens out as you go along further and you're doing more roleplay, less rolls, and succeeding more rolls because you've leveled up your stuff.
Yeah, it slows down.
Sure, I think it's fine. Does anyone have any feedback about things? Everyone okay with how everything went?
This is great. I think that all of the character stories are being intertwined by this moment.
Yeah, I was sitting there looking at all the different threads and backgrounds, and I was like, how to weave these together? But I think it's actually, I've got more of an idea than I usually do in a campaign at this stage. And there you go, sir.
We've just got to figure out how we're gonna get to a sky island if I find one.
I will take the Sky Island on board and definitely incorporate that somewhere. Ooh, actually, I know exactly how to incorporate it. That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, Alan. So I slept a little early for you.
Yep, thank you. Because I actually, not going to lie, I fell asleep for about 10 minutes during the session.
That's fine.
Yeah, so we got on a boat, and then next thing I knew, we were in a village being attacked by the abominations of, like, what's going on?
It's okay. That's why you made Ricardo oblivious, right?
Yes. Well, not intentionally, but it helped this week. Anyway, thanks. It was a great session.
Yep.
I'll see you next week.
Okay, look, guys.
Thanks for the
See you later.
See ya.
See ya.